Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thank you guys for checking out my channel once again. As I mentioned in the last video, today I'm going to be kind of talking a little bit about what I've been going over the last 2 weeks, consisting of the Flexbox. So basically, Flexbox is a layout algorithm that we can use within CSS to manipulate items, pretty much. And the way that we use Flexbox is by changing the display to Flexbox on the parent container. And right over here, I'll post kind of have a picture up basically explaining, kind of showing visually what the container is and what a item is, or flex container and flex item. So one of the things that we can do with our flex items, using Flexbox, we can change the direction. So we can change it from being oriented in a row horizontally, or we can change the direction to being in a column, so being more vertical. Now, when it comes to aligning our items, we can use justify content on the primary axis. So for a row being horizontally, we can orient our content, from the start, center, at the end using justify content. And then using, I believe, is it align items? You can orient, again, more on the cross axis. So if I have a row, it's going to either be towards the top, center, or towards the bottom. So you have the justify content and the align items. And we can also use align self if we're wanting to align a specific item. So also within Flexbox, there are 3 main properties that we learn about. Flex basis, flex grow, and flex shrink. So flex basis basically allows us to set a hypothetical size of an element in the primary axis direction. And that can be horizontal or vertical, depending on how it's oriented. Now, flex grow is basically a flex item's growth factor. So basically you can determine how much space you want your item to fill up the extra space within a container if you have extra space. Now, on the other hand, we have the flex shrink, which sets the shrink factor of a flex item. So basically it only ends up being applied if the size of all 3 items, or however many items you have within a container, is larger than their parent container. Also within this, within the sections of learning about Flexbox that I've gone over so far, I've learned about setting gaps, auto margins, and learning how to wrap as well with a W. So next up for me is basically working on the exercises that I have for this section. There's about 7 of them, just kind of going over all the different information that I learned. Obviously I learned a lot more in depth than what I went over in this video, but pretty much just the foundation, basics, and even some in-depth stuff regarding Flexbox, and just learning how to use that to manipulate the content that I have, and the items and stuff that I have in my HTML or CSS. So to kind of get into a little bit of just kind of how I'm feeling and where I'm at in regards to, learning all of this content and just the Odin project and just what I learned in the Python course that I took before this. I talked to an uncle of mine actually the other day, and he works in tech. I think a lot of front end type stuff, but some of the what he kind of instructed me with a little bit and was trying to help me with is kind of figuring out exactly what branch of software engineering do I want to do. So that's been something I've kind of been looking into, so I can get more specific about exactly, once I know exactly what I want to do, I can make sure I'm more, I know now I'm learning just the foundations of everything, but I can really get maybe more specific into the things that I need to know, depending on what section of software engineering I want to get into. Right now, just with what I've been learning and just from what I could pick up, I mean, I feel like front end stuff like web development might be the course that I'll take. I know I've obviously been learning a lot about HTML, CSS, I have JavaScript coming up too. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. Obviously, I feel like it's great to have a thorough knowledge of front end, back end. I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know Python's kind of more of a back end type deal. So, I mean, I'm still keeping my mind open. I don't know 100% certain exactly which direction I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm leaning, if I had to choose now, I mean, I would choose more front end, but if you guys have any other information, pros and cons of either, if there's any of you that actually, are working as a software engineer now and can give me more information on that, that would be awesome as well. Just as far as the pros and cons of each one. But as far as the research that I've done, I feel like I just like the creativity that you can have in web development. And I don't want to spread too far out into other things because, I mean, there's a lot of depth. Like I said, even if it's just front end, there's so much to learn. So I don't want to spread myself too thin at this point. I want to get to where I can, start out as a junior software developer, entry-level software developer. But also in that conversation, it was encouraging because there was a lot of language and a lot of things that he was going over with me that I was like, I can kind of follow along. I kind of understood what he was saying, what he was referring to, what he was talking about. So, I mean, at this point from where I first started, I can build a basic website right now, which is pretty cool, pretty impressive, and not something that I could have said before. I mean, from scratch, so definitely not something I could have said before. I still have a lot to learn. Once I finish this section, I'm going to be getting into JavaScript, and I know that there's a lot that goes into that as well. So a little bit at a time, and just, trying to work on continuing to find time and put effort and time towards just learning this stuff. I've also just been, if I don't hear anything back, I don't hear anything back, but just kind of trying to get my foot in the door, applying at entry-level jobs, jobs that at least require some experience with some of the things that I've been learning. Who knows? Maybe somebody wants to take a chance on me and train me and pay me at the same time. That'd be great. Because I'm definitely willing to learn and definitely wanting to grow in this, and I'm serious about it. We'll cross my fingers. We'll kind of see where things go. But just want to thank you guys for checking out this video, and can check out my next video as well in 2 more weeks. Thank you all for any support, friendly comments, anything like that, and again, just for following me along this journey so far. You guys have a good one. Catch y'all next time. Bye.